Fights, 21 victories, including 14 knockouts. From the Swift Garcia. Standing 27 victories, including 16 knockouts.
Fight hard, fight clean, good luck.
Matchup. Seeing this fight, and a proven, experienced puncher like Holt, or they're not sure, and
He's fought on so many of the cards earlier, and is held under contract where they could afford to have a loss if they did.
Wins, sort of Habuza in 6 rounds in his home state, put himself back into the spotlight in the division that brings it
long for the 140-pound division. The division.
Kendall Holt wearing New York jersey. He's not sticking and moving in the NFL.
Stop.
Much more matured and much more professional and coordinated at the state.
And Garcia has also never been hard to find with headshots.
We've seen fighters like Garcia wants to get his hands down into position to throw to the body.
Sorry, Ken.
Between the two fighters, Kendall Holt's punches are much more shorter, much more accurate as compared.
The two fighters combined to only throw 48 punches in the first round. That's why we talked so much. It was good.
Well, I think here's a good basic fundamental. If they even get in exchanges, Holt's probably going to get the better of the punches.
I mean, you know, Danny Garcia doesn't move his head. You see there. Holt believes he can clean Garcia.
He's a midget football star and a good student in the northern New Jersey community.
Game tomorrow at the Meadowlands, at the new Meadowlands.
3 rounds, box.
MetLife Stadium.
All right, stop.
Fight. And you wonder how Garcia's going to.
Because
Good right hand by Garcia.
real big test.
Best shot.
Controlling him through most of the first 2 rounds, and that round Compy led him in scorecard.
Although on second view, maybe it was up to the punch with the right hand.
Suddenly,
Yes.
which helped it to look like a bigger punch than it was.
Probably enough to win the round.
Oh,
Garcia's ability to land the right hand at the end of the.
well so far.
And now Garcia is beginning to, as I
Quit fighting a systematic fight because man, to take his risk.
suddenly Garcia
Punches without showing as much reaction, whereas they're wide looping punches, but they're effective.
well part
Stop, no punching.
in the last minute and a half suggests less than Holt might. Good jab by Garcia.
Really couldn't take Garcia's punch, even though it didn't seem like it was that hard.
One that Holt felt as though his power was going to control the fight. There's Garcia. Power punches in round 3. Holt 4 out of 10. Garcia 19.
When Danny Garcia gets into the groove, he's a heck of a prize. Just like you called it at the end of the second round, real good fighter. At that ring beautifully. You know, nice ring generalship today. Give him credit.
Jim up 1 punch.
Yep.
And Garcia,
Stop. No
meanwhile, is
punching.
throwing
No
2 and
punch.
3 at a time.
Bradley and Kaiser Vabusa in sweat down to 140 to make way to another level. Certainly he says that he learned how to weigh in. Maybe there hasn't been enough consistent preparation over the years.
For a while. And that's the difference in the fight to me at this stage. He has been hit by good shots from Holt. He's been able to deal.
It also looks to be a little more fight in Danny Garcia.
Yes.
Because he has asthma. That's
All of those tournaments, I used to see him in the amateurs with that type of a situation. You have to develop.
Max may be sitting with us at ringside. Only 4 of 26. Garcia 11 of 32, slow-paced. Now let's see if Holt can find some way to get his game back in gear. And that
More intensity and anxiety than he has in the previous rounds.
yeah, because
Step it up some, you know, he's doing all of the motions, showing he has the coordination.
As forecasted by Harold Letterman. You know, guys, that jumps out at me as being so terrific, but it's what you guys were talking, regardless of who's training you.
Stop, Holt here.
in spurts and therefore leaving space for Danny Garcia over the course of the past few rounds.
Stop punching.
Out of 60. In other words, the mean average for any junior welterweight counted by CompuBox. Garcia 11 out of 35. Should we deduct from
The fighter, and Holt maybe looks for 1 shot at a time, but given their
but it's not exactly a whirlwind.
And there's set a risk.
Right hands to the body. A punch that Kendall Holt
using their jabs.
No, I just think it's a habit in Garcia.
puffs Danny Garcia on the back of the head.
Stop.
Good fighter.
Yeah.
Stop. Nobody.
Maybe a little wide, doesn't do any one thing exceptionally well.
At this
Stop.
point,
Stop. No punching.
with Devin
No punching.
Alexander.
Oh, Malignaggi and Diaz were there too. Now need Marquez, Juan Manuel Marquez looked like he could be headed there. It hasn't.
Champion since he settled in.
Stop.
Sad
Nobody
Judah
punch.
looked
Danny
revived.
Garcia.
He's doing a good job.
Good left is trying to reverse this with one big shot in return. And lands a left. And now as we return live to round 7 and watch action continue along. And Kendall Holt on the right. Emmanuel Stewart, is there in some way a more passive
Boxing, the fact that the great Floyd Mayweather Jr. relaxes, doesn't have the intensity, I think.
Pascal last summer in Montreal? There were seemed to the eyes of many on the verge of knocking Pascal out.
Stop.
Before the CompuBox numbers at the halfway mark here had Holt 50 out of
But seems like Holt doesn't have the confidence in himself.
Kendall Holt's left eye is beginning to close.
Time.
72 out of 188, and fundamental to those 72, 30
Gets cut, which could easily happen, especially where they've had 2 hits.
Danny ripped him with a perfect counter right-hand shot onto that all ref.
Took up top for Kendall Holt.
Yep.
Stop punching. Watch the head.
And he's letting his urgency is a better word, and he's letting his hands go.
In bunches, work behind your
All
jab,
right, nobody
and
punch.
let it
Stop,
develop.
Kendall,
Then
don't-
that's his game. That comes naturally.
Both guys,
By Garcia, Holt was standing still, facing him in a.
Neither one has head movement, but the most frustrating when he does punch and just be glad. But if I was in Garcia's corner, I would be a nervous wreck.
At first it was from a punch, now it's from the head.
Nothing wrong with that. Referee
That
says
weight-
that.
Don't do this shit now, okay? All right, get back. Time in. Time.
Anyone else has any cut solutions at all. That's why I was at all trade.
Write that down, all you trainer hopefuls at home.
Stop,
This
stop.
is the one of his better shots in a while.
Stop.
He's getting more
Don't punch
active,
it.
and his left eye is swelling. And, you know, we've mentioned the cut man's good body shot.
With Holt's left eye closed, he still has so much punching.
By swinging in the middle.
But the thing is, usually once he gets in range,
You have to be in the sport a little while. You have to thrive a little bit before
Stop punching.
you're promoted. Meanwhile, over in Garcia's corner, his father, Angel Garcia, has and still careless, and Garcia clocked him
Stop.
twice.
Guys been exchanging.
Garcia, but particularly a looping right hand that Holt doesn't see coming.
Harder time blocking the right hand. You think he's scared to run into that left hook, Emmanuel?
once again, Garcia beats him to.
That was that good left hook to the body, left hook to the head.
But certainly not enough. I've got Danny Garcia way ahead.
14 out of 36. Garcia, 14 out of 30.
Danny Garcia nails him, and that's been the story of the fight. I mean, basically, it's all active aggressiveness. 8 rounds to 1, Danny Garcia.
Look, you think Danny, way less experienced in a crossroads?
Got along very well, and this was a big test, and he's passing the test as far as I'm concerned. Story of the fight. I think Garcia's fighting a very good fight.
Yeah, I really do think that with his youth and undefeated.
Begging Colt to win these last 3 rounds, but Holt.
That's smart. It's a good move. But you know,
Hands are down. Danny's taking big advantage.
a lot of time once they get in the pros, they get to use. I have to have a cut.
Stop, whoa. You gotta listen when I said stop, dude. That was a natural break.
Is rolling to victory now, unless Kendall Holt can pull something. So Eric Morales and Manny Pacquiao, who fought 3 furious fights, know each other so well that they're friends, not enemies.
And they use it.
One of the most beautiful encounter.
And when they was going into the 3rd fight, when we was those report.
Yeah, Ali seems to always wanted a bond outside. You're creating something special with each other.
And that, if anything, has been. Now Pacquiao gets ready to.
Marquez, Morales, and Barrero is just amazing.
Hard right, but Jack Reese separates them to prevent their heads from coming together again. Big right.
But it's the fact that he seemed to have more determination. I never thought he could control the fight this.
Holt from Jersey and Garcia from Philadelphia.
He told Holt to have a shot.
Time.
A punch with you, a punch and come back with the same hand. Great left hook coming. And this is going to be a very, very tough 12th round for Holt. Got hit with it, but it's the fact that he made all of the motions of blocking it.
Puncher.
Yes, he is.
What's the danger of
Don't see the fire inside of Holt. I mean, he's got a good.
That's what Angel Garcia asked
Well,
for.
I don't think that Garcia.
Urgency.
Stop.
And
Nobody
didn't
punch.
want Holt to
Break.
go all out for a knockout.
To score a knockout in a fight he has clearly lost on the scorecards.
Stop.
Holt at halftime of the Giants game tomorrow.
Needs to recover the ball and score a touchdown right now to win.
And moving and making that difficult. Well, according to CompuBox, there they were.
You had to remind me.
Landed in a fight we have tracked for him. And that means
9, Danny Garcia. I think, it's just is cleaner.
Ladies and gentlemen, we go to the scorecards here at Staples Center. Danny Swift Garcia.